Thank you to Dehancer for sponsoring this video. Use code ONESHOT10 to get 10% off your next purchase of Dehancer. Okay, I want to start off this video by saying I'm in no way a color theorist. For my trailer, I didn't even look at the color wheel. That's some of you are gonna cringe at that, but I am not a color theorist when it comes to video work. I just do what looks good to me. I'm not looking at my blues, my reds, my greens, and all that other stuff. I reached out to Dehancer and asked if they wanted to sponsor my movie, and of course they said yes. So, of course I'm going to use their software to make it look amazing, which it did. It looked really good with Dehancer. A person that's never touched Dehancer before and went through it, it was super easy to find everything. And I want to thank Dehancer for sponsoring my film and this video. So I want to go through what I used Dehancer for in my movie and how I used it. I'm also sorry for the picture quality on my camera right now because I'm using a crappy 2000D kit lens because I don't have my actual nice wide angle lens right now. So I'm really sorry that you're gonna have to suffer through 2000D kit lens quality. So everything here was shot in a Canon R5, and that was in C-Log 3. So what I did is this clip right here. So this is from the inside, from this desk here actually. And so what I started with is I choose my camera. So that really helps when you're in color grading. Sometimes it won't have it, so you kind of just have to work with what you have. So what I did is sometimes if it doesn't have your camera, then you just put in Rec 709, works fine. But then I put Canon R5, and then I put the format it was recorded in, which is C-Log 3, put that in there, and then I eventually just started tweaking my exposure and everything. So that's what I did. And then when I come down here and I look at the film. So there's a film profile here. This is all their different kind of presets and stuff. So I know some people don't like to use these, but there was a good amount of actually really good presets. So I used some of those and they look great. So I used some of those. There are tons in here. There are tons. And this isn't even all of them. All of these aren't even downloaded on here because this isn't my main computer. So since I had to process it all in C-Log 3, I had to use a Mac. So that didn't work. So I tried to select my print. I go with my color profile and then I go with print. Because if you edit everything else and then you put your print on top of it, it changes everything. So personally, I know some people don't like to do this, and I know some of you are gonna cringe when I do this, but what I do is I click my print click. I click which one I like. So this one is a little bit darker. I didn't really like that. Most people, this gives you more of the Hollywood look, the Kodiak Endura glossy paper. So that's what I use. You can adjust your exposure, your contrast. So this was the settings I used. You can tell when I move this, it gets brighter, darker, all that stuff there. So I settled with more of a darker theme for this spot here. And then what you can do, I didn't put film grain on it. I know people don't like the insane digital look of it. So some people like it. I personally don't keep the film grain on. It's just something I don't like to put on my video. So I just kept it off, but you can select you have your 35mm ISO 250, and it goes from 8mm ISO 50 to, I think it goes all the way up, 65mm ISO 500. So you can, if you like that film grain look, you can go over it. But so I just tweaked this a little bit. I just brought down my blues just a smidge because it was white light, but it gave off a really blue haze. So I just brought that down a little bit so it wasn't insane. So film developer, that's basically you have your contrast, your gamma, your color, and your color boost. So it basically, you have your color separation there too. So what I did is I brought down my contrast a little bit just to make sure that was the way I want it, because it was a really contrasty scene. So if I bring it down a little bit, you can get more definition in my face and everything there. And then we have your film compression here. So what I did with my film compression is see if I bring this down, you see more of that light, it becomes more washed out. So when you're compressing it, you get more of if you have a sky or something, you can see more color in that sky instead of just white. So you get more color and detail out of your sky. This is what I would use film compression for, and I use it a little bit for the LED lights here. I use that just to compress down that light so it isn't as washed out. Some people like to put film damage on. That kind of gives it like that film look. Like from a while ago when what they did is when they were scanning the film, you had that damage that was in that film. So if you put that on, you have all that kind of, the film damage gives it kind of that, if you're going for warm-up retro vibe, you can bring that out in that. And then another thing people put on their film is vignette. I personally didn't touch the vignette. So, and that's just the black haze that goes around your footage there. So one of the scenes I want to go to is, if it loads here, yep, is the scene where I have a person dead here, and it kind of really, Dehancer did a really good job at bringing out those leaves in my footage. So if you turn this off, you see how like it's basically just gray, which is, that's C-Log for you. So what I did is I chose my camera again. What I did is I set my input and everything there, same as the last one. Use the same color profile, which is the Kodak Vision 3 250D. That's what I used on that. And then your film developer. And one thing I definitely did use a little bit of was the film compression. So if you see in the background, here, you can see the sky is really blue. So if you bring your film compression down, that sky will become more of the white, and it will be, we won't really see the definition in the sky, but here you can see the blue sky in it, and you can get more detail out of it. And then black point, this time I brought it, I didn't touch it at all. My white point, I didn't touch. This stuff here, I left the same as it did. Again, Dehancer did a really good job at setting everything up properly. And then your print, your color profile. And on this one, I used the Kodak 2383 print film, which is what I used, which is a little different than the one I used before. So because that one, if I used that one, it was too saturated for that one. So I just used the other one, and it looked really good, and I loved how that one looked. So another scene that Dehancer did a really good job at with their color profiles and everything was the very last scene, and that was when he was holding the knife. And I really just set the camera. I was trying to do like more of a moody theme in this one. I just set the camera, and I thought it actually looked pretty good for the vibe I was going for. So, and then I selected my profile, and I selected my print. That's really all I did in this scene. Dehancer did a really good job at bringing out what I was looking for in this scene. I was really impressed with what they had, and I barely touched any of the settings. There were just a few settings I talked about earlier, which I just tweaked those, and it turned out really well. And I was very impressed with Dehancer and everything it could do. It really helped with the film, and really couldn't have done it without them sponsoring it and giving me a license to use for the trailer and this video I'm shooting now. It really helped, and I really appreciate it. Dehancer is a super good software if you're looking to get into film and shooting. And again, I'm not a professional in this. I'm a photographer. I barely shoot video, which is why I had Brody from Bennett Photography. He was the videographer for this, and he did a great job on it. I just edited all the colors and everything, and edit the video for everything. So this isn't the final product. This is just the clips as I moved it to my PC and edited everything there. I just really used my Mac and color graded everything, and it all came out really well. I was really impressed with the colors that Dehancer brought out in my video and the trailer. It was insanely good. Thank you to Dehancer for sponsoring this video. I couldn't have done it without him. Their software is amazing, and their presets are really good. I use their presets, and I just used some of my own, just a little tweaked it for my own taste and everything, and it all came out really well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this behind the scenes look for my trailer, and I hope you guys tune in 2025 to see the full movie.